You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones, and this is the Talk Beat Jones. This is the Talk Beat Jones. We're hot with the Talk Beat Jones. This is the Talk Beat Jones, and I have my co-host this morning. Of course, I'm Billy Jones, and of course, you're watching us from anywhere around the world on the Roku, Amazon, the telephone, etc. through the social media. We want to let you know, call your friends and let them know that you're watching the Talk Beat Jones. We have folks here that are running for the City Charter Commission, and I have my co-host today. I'm going to start off with my co-host, sir.
Kenny Cattleman, want to say hi, good morning.
And start off with the young lady to my right,
My name is Taylor Harrell. Good morning.
Taylor Harrell. And
My name is Tracy Peters. Good morning.
I should have that microphone.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's fun. What we want to do is introduce these ladies, and they're running for the city charter, as well as, let's see who we have on the telephones this morning. Hello?
Hello.
I can't hear you.
Hello, this is Mary from Oakland.
Okay, you just hold on, Mary, okay?
Ah,
Hello?
Yeah, good morning, Billy. How are you?
Okay, and who are you, sir?
I'm the one, the only, the inimitable Thomas A. Wilson, Jr.
Okay, hold on, Tom. And we have on the phone your name,
Good
please.
morning, Billy, Deputy Chief.
Okay, so we have our lines. And family, as we move forward, you can also call us at 313-868-0342, and that will roll over, and you will be able to get onto the program to answer questions, to ask questions, or to ask questions, okay? And you may want to make a statement. But let's go with this. Young lady, why are you here today, and what are you running for?
I am here today to talk about the Detroit Charter Commission and the position, which is the position I'm running for. There are 9 seats available on the Detroit Charter Commission, and so I am vowing to be one of those 9 commissioners. We'll set the checks and balances for our city government, dictate how our city operates, and roll out the rules and responsibilities for citizens of Detroit.
All right. And young Kenny, would you ask this young lady something there?
Yes, we would like to know why you running and the importance of the charter.
I am Tracy Peters. I am running, like Taylor, for the Detroit Charter Revision Commission because I feel that the people need to have a strong voice in the Detroit City Charter, which is our people's governing document over our self-determination and governance. And it's important to be here because we'd like to reach as many interested voters before Tuesday so that they can take stake in this document and come out and vote.
All right, okay. And caller,
yes.
what is it that we're in an election time? Now, I know you're in Oakland, California.
Right.
When you were in Oakland and you're watching during the election times, Mary Buggs of Oakland, California, my colleague from Sobe Television, what type of things do you like to see happening with your political folk?
I'd like to see, when it comes to the city council, that they only have 2 terms.
Well, did we ever have a city charter situation in Oakland?
No.
No. Okay. Hold on, Mary. That's something different.
Okay.
Hold on. Caller, what? Could you answer that same question, please?
In terms of the election, just like, the station here, WHPR, it gives people a chance to reach out to people that regularly wouldn't be able to see the 2 candidates who are right there, okay? So it's a good outlet in terms of letting the voting electorate see people who they couldn't possibly maybe make it to a lot of meetings, but they get it right here.
Okay, hold on, Tom. Deputy Chief, can you?
Yes, sir.
You want to deal with that question, or you want to go another direction?
What was the question?
The question was about going into the political ranks and asking a question about your the candidates. What is
Well-
it that you want to know about them?
Well, I like to know their names, and I'm listening in as to why they're running. I'm glad to see that they're running because we need radical change. And I'm also glad, extremely glad to see that they have come aboard to TV 33 to reach out to the voters, the citizens of Detroit, so we'll know that we have interested people who will look out for our interests.
All right. And thank you. Would you please hold? Ladies, you are listening to a panel from the telephone, and so you see that you'll have folks asking you questions there, as well as my co-host Kenny. Or excuse me, let's say the name that everybody know you from. Could you get that name, please?
The Candle Man.
The Candle Man, okay. So, but also, before I get any further, I want to do this. I want to reach out to my best friend, Mr. Minister Malik Shabazz. I want to give him love. I want to give his family love. I understand that the minister lost his 92-year-old grandmother, and I know his heart is hurting. And for those who see him as a 6'4", 6'5", 300+ pound person, he's probably down a few pounds now. It don't matter. Our heart hurts. His heart hurts. I know the man personal. I know that this is a deep, deep pain within his heart. I know that his family is hurting. So at this time, let's take the time. If you are a Shabazz person who loves him, give him your love. If you're a person that's sitting on the fence about Malik, come off the fence and love. If you have been an opponent of Malik, drop it. Just drop the bull and give the man some love. I want you to understand that. He's a good person. I don't care what views he may have that you are not agreeable to. It's okay. At this time, it's not about whether you're with him or against him. It's about family, showing a family member love. Okay. Now, go right again.
I just want to say I'm sending out my prayers to Minister Malik, excuse me, and his family, because he stuck with me when my daughter got killed. And I want to say, if anything you need, hey, I'm just a phone call away. You can call me.
Thank you so much. Ladies, I just want to now tell me, why are you running for city charter?
Well, I'm running for the city charter. Again, my name is Taylor Harrell. I'm sorry. I am running for the city charter to protect and defend the rights of all citizens in the city of Detroit. I'm running to increase transparency, strengthen accountability within our city government, and ensure real civic participation in decisions that affect all of our neighborhoods. I am running on a platform that is for the people only, to protect the people's interests and to defend the rights of the citizens in the city of Detroit. And I think that a lot of times we find ourselves being reactionary versus being proactive to things that happen. So originally I did vote to no on August 7th to keep the charter closed. However, I did know that it was important to be a safeguard and be in place and ready in the event that the people voted to open the charter. And so that's why I'm running, to be a safeguard.
Are you a fighter?
I fight very hard. I found out that the charter was opening the Friday before the signatures were due, and so you need 500 signatures to qualify for the charter. And I was able to get over 700, so I think that speaks to my work ethic. I hustle hard. I was very instrumental in the re-election of Mary Sheffield to the Detroit City Council, and I also just secured a win for Stephanie Chang for the state senate this past primary. So I guess you can say I fight real hard.
I would say that sound like you a bad woman to me, Kenny.
Yeah, we'd like, young lady, we'd like to know why you're running and why should the people vote for you?
You stole the word. I was actually going to say I'm a proven fighter. I'm fighting for a viewpoint to be heard. That viewpoint is primarily going to reflect long-term residents like myself who, despite decades of grassroots activism in our government to be involved and to have a say in our tax dollars, we continue to lose city assets, and we continue to lose the ability to have disclosure and transparency when it comes to decisions affecting our monies. My platform is one of voting rights. Our voting rights are under attack at the federal level with gerrymandering laws. They're under attack at the state level with emergency management law. Even our city charter is somewhat weak on there, and I'd like to see language added to strengthen our ability to have input over the mayor's executive committee appointments. Right now, when they work with our tax dollars or act on the city's behalf, it's simply an appointed commission that we have an ability to affect, which we really don't. The charter can do a lot to strengthen voting rights. One way it can do that is it can do a direct action and protect our right to elect, say, example, a board of police commissioners. It can also allow us to have input in something like the citizen advisory councils, which is something that residents can petition residents for, or council members for. Lastly, I'll just say,
hold on.
yes,
Just a moment. We're going to come back
Sorry.
to that, okay? She's ready.
I'm ready.
And let's see. Let's go right here. Hello.
Yeah, this is Tom.
Yes, Tom.
I kind of want to take a little switch of track, if you don't mind, just real quick.
If we're making it smooth and quick so that we can continue our flow.
Okay, just real quick. In terms of the proposals, proposal 1, 2, and 3.
But no. Before we get into the proposals,
All
let's
right.
stay with our city charter. You're going to have time because you're going to be with me today, right?
Well, I'm going to be with you up until maybe about 9:30 at most.
Okay, we'll have time to hit that. But right now, let's stay with our charter folk.
Okay, all right, no problem. In terms of the charter, I know the charter, as I refer to it, it's the Bible of the city and what, the rules and what have you that we, the people, have to live by. And this goes to both of you, what are both of you going to do, or what would you like to be seen done in terms of changing some of the, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it, revisions that are in the charter?
The what that's in the charter?
The revisions.
Changing the revisions that are in the charter.
Tom,
Yeah.
I need you to give us more of a clarity in terms of that question. Are you asking them what, as the charter is presently written, would they go into, say, we need to take this out of the charter? Is that what you're telling us? Asking?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, as the charter is written right now, we a few of us who are running, Tracy and I, do have things that we would like to see changed. One of the things that I would like to change is the residency requirement to run for office. You can't legislate morality, but you can have empathy. And currently, in order to run for office in the city of Detroit, you only have to live in our city for 1 year. And so I would like to see that residency requirement extended to maybe up to 4 years, because in legislating and living within the community, you'll have the opportunity to understand and empathize with the people in whom you're living around. And if you have empathy, you're able to write policies that can truly enhance the quality of life for all Detroiters. And I would also like to eliminate the community advisory councils, but restore citizen district councils so our residents can have a say-so in what's going on in their community. I think that right now the community advisory council serves as a blanket group to separate citizens from their local government or local elected officials. And so if we eliminate that and restore citizen district councils, we can then rebuild our communities.
Sounds good. Young lady?
The first thing I would like to add is an addition to the city council's approval over the mayor's appointment of the 4 board of police commissioners, corporate counsel, and police chief. Currently, the language is that if city council doesn't speak up after 30 days,
Right.
those 3 positions, which are very powerful and very important, just pass through. I think the language says does not disapprove. I think there should be an open hearing on that, because if city council doesn't have a majority, a quorum, to actually defeat the mayor's appointees, they may not speak up at all. So that's the first thing I would like. And then I just want to add this about my personal changes, and I think Taylor touched on this. I will make any changes that the residents bring forth. The reason Taylor and I and our slate are running is that we are very good at engaging the community, and it is those people whose positions we need to tell us the changes to make. We want to have a representative charter, representative of the people, all the people that live in our city.
All right.
Can I say something?
Okay, real quickly. Go right ahead.
The young lady who is from Oakland, she had touched on term limits. I am not in favor of term limits, so that is not something, I'll be quite honest, I am not going to the table if elected to fight for or to change in the charter. When we talk about term limits, we talk about limiting the ability for our council or our mayor, whomever they are at that time, to be effective. And then they start working for lobbyists, and then that comes into play with our voting rights. Because if you want a bill passed and you know, hey, I only got 2 terms, that's 8 years, or I may once we change it, it goes into effect in 21. So that person is only already going to be in their last term, and so then we're in a place of them just trying to get something passed to have a legacy and not really fighting on the residents' behalf. So term limits are not smart, and I would not advocate for that.
Deputy Chief?
Yes, to both candidates, we're 2 days out from the elections. What have you learned from this campaign? And going forward, what would you do different?
Okay.
I'll start with that. What I've learned from the campaign is my background is public education and education groups. And in the city, I'm involved in Keep the Vote, No Takeover and a lot of PTAs. What I've learned from the campaign is that so many other interests, water rights, people that are interested in police brutality and their civil rights, they are so strong in the community, and I've learned that there are ways to unify those groups in forums such as this and in some of the candidate forums so that we can really build a momentum going forward. I've just been so pleased to see all the groups reaching out and working together. I think we have a really good election coming up.
Okay, and Mary?
Yeah. I heard her. That's her opinion. It's happening in Detroit. I'm talking about Oakland, California, because most of our representatives are snakes.
Okay.
So that's why I want them to leave in a hurry, not when they're sick and dead. I'm tired of these corrupt people running Oakland. Is that all right, young lady?
Ma'am, that's all right, but we're talking about Detroit, so I can't speak to what's going on in Oakland, unfortunately. So that's why my answer will remain.
I believe that what she's doing is setting a template saying that folks who have been elected have been shown in the Oakland Bay Area. And remember, things that are in one city still has a reflection to another city.
Sure.
I'm from Oakland, 2004, I'm here in Detroit. So the reflection is saying to you, we've already seen some of the situations about how elected officials operate. Is that right, Mary?
That's right.
Gotcha. So, well, I think that Detroit has done a decent job to an extent in voting people out who they don't necessarily agree with. We had a council member who I don't think he was a bad council member. I didn't live in that district, so I can't speak to it, but the people obviously weren't pleased, and he got voted out after his first term. So Detroiters are showing up. We can't be apathetic. We have to be proactive, and we have to show up to the polls to make those changes. So I understand your position on you want corruption out of politics, or you don't want those elected officials to continue to be able to serve you, but that comes into play with you have to organize at the bottom up. Grassroots activism is not dead. And so if you want those people out, you have to be willing to tap someone and say, hey, I think you should run for this, or hey, let's vote them out and just reroute your
I believe
energy.
that you hit the point there, and I'm going to bring Kenny in that you have to tap folks that you can believe in who have some scruples about this, that you know they have the scruples, Kenny.
Yeah, well,
Candleman.
I just want to piggyback off what Mary was saying. I believe in that to an extent, because right here in the city of Detroit, I've been in politics for a while, and we have people, the same people down there as the city council, that's rubber stamping everything that our mayor is sitting on the table for them. So, and then people putting them in there every term that, it's time to vote, they back in there, sitting up in there, and they doing no service to the public, to the people in the community. And we need to change that. you know, because it's bad for us. Really is bad for us. You know, same people in there over and over and over, and we get nothing done in our community. So I'm kind of agreeing with Miss Mary about for the city of Detroit, and I've been here over 60 years.
Okay. And yes, ma'am.
May I add a point to
Please,
that
go
to
right ahead.
address your host and to Mary? That's the beauty of the People's Slate that Taylor and I are both running on. I think you will
Let
find
me
a
interrupt
number.
you. Let me interrupt you and ask you.
Yes.
You referred to the People's Slate.
Yes.
Between the two of you, can you give us some names of the folks who are on the People's Slate?
Sure.
Sure.
We can start from the top with Tracy Peters, Taylor Harrell, Nicole Small, Joanna Underwood.
Wait. You're going too fast.
I'm sorry. I'll start over. So we have myself, Taylor Harrell. We have Tracy Peters, Denzel McCampbell, Nicole Small, Joanna Underwood, and Barbara Ann Winder.
Now, real quickly, and I'm going to come back to you, young
Thank you.
lady. We had the other two candidates, Ms. Small and Ms. Underwood. They emphasized the fact that they need a team to be elected.
Yes.
You can continue.
Yes, and I will say that our diverse team of many first-time candidates who are running for the same reason that Kenny, you brought up, there's just needs to be change. We do need a team. This is a 9-member position. The Charter Commission requires you voters to vote for 9 people. We need 6 people minimally on that team to move forward the people's agenda. So a team means a quorum, it means a majority, it means listen to your candidates that are expressing a similar interest and vote in a block.
Yes.
All right.
Vote in a block and plunk your votes.
Tom?
Yeah, you know what? I agree about the term limits, but the term limits to this point, if I'm not mistaken, I'll stand corrected if I'm wrong, that would have to be a statewide vote, I do believe, because not term limits, but I meant residency. Residency just didn't happen here in the city. It happened in all 83 counties in this state, and it affected every city, township, and municipality.
Okay, I saw I saw you kind of shake your head.
No, I had to let him finish his question. I was listening.
Okay.
So there can be a limit unto what you can set the residency requirement to, but before the charter is passed, our attorney general will tap in and chime in and say what we can and cannot do from the state level that'll intertwine with our city charter. So we are definitely going to work with constitutional and election law lawyers before we put it forth to the people, but it is something that we're definitely exploring.
Okay, hold on, Tom. Deputy Chief,
Yes.
bringing it to you.
Okay. Well, it sounds like this team of the People's Slate is on the right track. Again, we need radical change. I would like to see win, lose, draw, or what have you. I would like to see this team stay together and moving forward in the future. We have an election coming up in 2020. Now is the time to sit down, strategize, and we need the people to get behind this group. Get behind with financial resources. This team needs to support TV33, come back to this venue, and educate the people, the voters in Detroit. I've had a number of people call, and they like the show. They like the idea
Okay.
that candidates have come forward because a lot of people didn't know who to vote for.
Okay, let me do this because of my time constraint. I'm going to come
Yeah.
back to you. You're going to be here for a minute. Hold on, please. Kenny, Candleman?
Well, I mean, they said, a lot. We just need the people. The only way we go get a change out here and the people to vote for this, for the charter commissioner and the People's Slate, we have to get them out and we have to give them something to vote for. And I look at this team that we have right now that was bringing to you. It's something to get off our rear ends and vote for because it's time for a change.
I want to make a clarification. This is not an endorsement from TV33. This is not an endorsement from Talk Beat Jones. This is an open forum in terms of letting folks come in, regardless of which party, what you want to represent. to be invited to get your points and your views across. So hopefully you that are sitting there saying, I should be there, I could do that, you need to call, what's your number, Kenny?
313-778-0979.
And your number, Deputy Chief?
313-399-8290.
Okay. This young lady here was about ready to read me some propositions about being here ready to welcome her right now. So she's a fighter. She's a hustler, like she said. So I know you have to go because you're ready to knock on some more doors.
Yes.
So give us your closeout. First of all, again, give us your name for folks who are just tuning in. And is there any contact information for you, but your closeout, please.
Again, well, the gentleman, I think it was the deputy chief, had asked, what have we learned on this campaign? So far, I've learned to just connect with the people and work hard, and you are stronger together. So I don't think, regardless of how Tuesday comes, I don't think we will get as far as we've done if we hadn't did it together or in a slate, the people's slate. And so lastly, I'm closing out to say that I hope you all get to the polls on Tuesday, November 6th, and plunk your votes. You only vote for the 6 people I'm asking that you vote for the 6 people on the people's slate who will truly protect and defend the rights of all citizens in the city of Detroit and host educational forums to educate people on the charter, because I believe that our people perish for a lack of knowledge. And lastly, again, my name is Taylor Harrell. You can contact me. My phone number is 248-574.
Taylor,
No.
slow it down.
My phone number is 248-574-9293. My Facebook is Taylor Harrell for Detroit Charter Commission. Taylor R. Harrell for all other social media platforms. You can reach out to me. And if you want to volunteer, that same number still exists. And again, I'm asking to earn your support ahead of Tuesday.
All right. Young lady.
Again, Tracy Peters, running as a candidate who will continue this agenda past Election Day. This is a time for dramatic reform. I appreciate your listeners' questions this morning. I look forward to meeting several of you over the next 2 days. I'll give you my phone number as well. If you need literature about me or my slate, we will bring it to you. That is 313-693-5155. Please come out and take advantage of this opportunity, Detroiters, to transform our government. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And family, we want to let you know we're going to go to a momentary process where I can exhale before I start to get excited. I want to keep my composure. So we're going to go to a momentary Talkby Jones exhale moment. So you stay right there. And Tom, if you can stay with us, we will come back and we'll quickly get into those questions about the propositions if you'll hold. You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. And
Bon Appetit, Elegant Catering. We now deliver. Pre-order your dinners today. Most Wanted Platter. Visit our website, bonappetitelegantcatering.com. Barbecue rib dinners. We now deliver. Shrimp dinners. We now deliver. Fried chicken dinners. We now deliver. Lamb chop dinners. We now deliver. Fish dinners. We now deliver. Surf and turf dinners at Bon Appetit. We now deliver. Give us a call, 313-444-5048.
you wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. And all right, we're back with the Talk Beat Jones. Remember, the Talk Beat Jones, we're on the air every Sunday live from 9 to 10 a.m. And we invite you to call us at 313-0342. I give you that one number because we do a rollover system. So you can call us at 313-868-03, what? 0342. And don't forget, family, we're still in that fundraising situation, so you can send those checks, cash your checks to TV 33, 160 Victor Street, Highland Park, 48, what is that number? 48203. I just want to let you know that we have the great one here, Mr. Henry Tyler, the Executive Vice President, General Manager, is handling the business. And during the break, he wanted to tap me upside my head. I didn't know what I did wrong, but he just felt like tapping me upside my head. Thank you, Mr. Tyler. I'll be better. And again, Kenny, Mr. Candleman.
Yes, I'm Kenny. They call me the Candle Man. And I want to say welcome back. And for those that trying to get through on the line, just hold on. We're going to get to you.
All right, Weeks. Mary, is there any closeout statements you want to make? You want to hang with us?
Yes, I want to close it out. I'd like to bring my condolences in for Mrs. Chabaz. I lost my mother 4 years ago yesterday. So
Sorry to hear that.
I know how he's feeling.
Yes.
And please vote, people. Vote. And don't Trump. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary of Oakland, California, my soul beat sister. Thank you, Ben. And before I come to you, Tom, I've got to introduce my panel that's here right at this point. First of all, my co-host, sir.
Kenny the Candle Man.
And we're going to start with the right side. Yourself, sir.
Yes, my name is Denzel McCampbell. I'm running for Detroit City Charter Commission on the People's Slate as well.
I had a quick question. When you are on the telephone and someone don't know you and you say, "Hi, my name is Denzel," do you get that mistaken identity?
Oh, yeah, Denzel Washington, all the time. All the time.
And young lady.
I am Tracy Peters. I am also running as a member of the Detroit People's Slate for the Detroit Charter Revision Commission.
You come with a background, is that true?
I do. I would like to come with a background that's appropriate for radio. Which background are you speaking of?
You've served on some.
Oh,
yeah.
No political background. I've served proudly as a public school teacher for 20 years, 6 of which were in the Detroit Public Schools, where I also went to school. My only other part of professional background is that I went to law school in 2008 to become a lawyer, to be a better teacher and keep fighting for kids.
Wow.
That's my background.
Wow. Kenny, we're about to bring Tom on, but do you have a statement you want to make? A comment? Question?
No, we can go with Tom. I'm
Okay.
good.
Tom, you're back, and I know your time is limited. I want to thank you so much for staying with us, Tom, but you want to hit that proposition real quick before we go into Mr. Denzel.
Yeah. Propositions 1, 2, and 3. I'm voting no on 1, yes on 2 and 3.
Wait. Now, here is one thing I want folks to understand. We're trying to put things out so that folks who have not voted before, folks who have not been put into a position where they've been excited about voting, because when we hear folks talk about this, hold your nose and vote, that's not exciting. You're saying vote, but he's just doing the thing. You tell me that I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. Tell me why I want to vote. Maybe we can turn around and make our citizens feel good about getting out voting, because there is a proposition, there is persons and people that they can feel good about putting their hard-earned name on a ballot. Let's stop playing this game about hold your nose, and if it stink, you still vote. I'm not going to step in no stink. So let's stop that particular situation and let other slick talk folks take our people and take them down the Wizard of Oz lane. Okay? So go right ahead, Tom.
Okay, but anyway, on Proposal 1, which is the legalization of marijuana.
Thank you.
Okay. As I said, I'm going to vote against it. It's simply because, it's just one more, though it's fair, all right? It's one more, how can I say it, substance, along with alcohol, that, people will now be legally able to go to the store, okay, for lack of a better way to put it. And it has repercussions to the point of, if the companies, just because something's legal, they're going to put it in their, policies and procedures in terms of, if you come in here buzz, okay, and you can't function.
Okay, let's break it down. We're on a time schedule. You're saying you're voting no against the marijuana situation simply because, again, folks, if you drank, you drank. But if you add the process of legalizing the marijuana. The thing is, we already talk about the folks can't get jobs, don't have jobs, can't get the training program. Why? Because when you go, you're going to be tested.
Right.
If you're working, you're going to be tested randomly at different times, and you're going to lose your job. If you smoke a joint, it's going to smoke the weed. It's going to stay in your system, even though you say, well, I'll stop because I got a job interview in 2 months or 3 months. That stuff can still be in your system. You won't get the job. So let's break it down and let's be real, about what the real deal is. And let's not, so what's number 2?
Okay, number 2 is about the, oh God, I'm having a senior moment here.
Okay.
The gerrymandering. In other words, Republicans and Democrats, those are the majority of the party. Now, depending upon which party is in the majority, they draw political lines to favor the party.
Okay.
Like the commercial says, with this new thing, they want people to be able to elect their politicians, not their politicians elect the people.
Okay, give it to me shorthand because I got these commissions I want to get to, please.
Okay, so, let the people decide. The people are going to have a 13-member panel, and they're going to 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans, and 5 independents, and they'll have to come together.
And how are you voting?
I'm voting yes on that, and also on number 3, the proposal 3, which will allow, same day, registration to vote, and also it will put back on the ballot the box at the top of the ticket that will allow people to check straight party ticket voting. And there's some other things in there, but you're limited to time,
Yes.
and I'm not going to waste your candidate's time there trying to explain this. So
You're not wasting time.
well,
You're
I didn't
taking
mean
time.
that was for lack of a better word.
Oh, that's okay. It's okay. That's why I'm here. Judge, bam. But you're great, and hopefully you'll be able to come into the studio potentially as soon as we can and get you here. Okay.
Well, as Anita Ward said, ring my bell.
All right, brother. I'm going to ring the bell. Thank you, though.
Thank
Okay.
you, Billy.
All right. Young lady.
You want to speak on that?
I was just agreeing with Ring My Bell.
Oh, okay.
I like the music. I like the music.
Okay. Let me go to Deputy Chief, and hold on, Deputy. Let me clear this line because I know Mary is gone. Mary, you gone, right? Oh, shucks. Deputy Chief, you got to call me back. I was hitting Mary's line, but I hit your line. I got to call me right back, Deputy Chief. Call me right back. Go ahead, Cameraman.
No, I wanted to say on that proposal 1, I'm voting no because people don't realize that you're legalizing it here in the state, but feds is still illegal, so you still can go to jail, and people don't realize that. Plus, you still can't get a job, So, a lot of folks think, well, they legalize, they can ride anywhere and do anything or smoke it anywhere. That's not true. Do your research. And I always ask them, do your research. And, I like to know, I don't know if you're going to the line, but I want to ask the gentleman, what do you think about that?
About each proposal or just proposal?
Each proposal.
So, definitely have been hearing folks' concerns about Proposal 1, which you speak of, about job hiring and the federal level.
Make sure you're speaking that mic.
Yep. One thing I'll say for folks is when we're thinking about legalization of marijuana, actually, I would want the folks to think about the decriminalization of it as opposed to legalization, right? Because we have so many of our folks in our communities who are in jail because of possession of marijuana or selling of marijuana. So my concern, if this were to pass, is that how do we actually go to the record clearing and exoneration of folks who are now in jail because of something that is legal if it passes. So those are the things that are first and foremost on our mind, the criminal justice aspect and the racial justice aspect as well.
Okay.
Young lady.
I would agree with Denzel in that,
And Deputy Chief.
and the Deputy Chief on Proposal 1, that so many good points are being raised about the difference between the way federal law and state law treat possession. I also think it's a good point for voters to consider how legalizing this would play out in Detroit, where we already have uncertainty as it comes to number of facilities where you can purchase medical marijuana. We have some neighborhoods that are so dense with stores like my own, And I want them to consider the local perspective before voting yes or no on one.
Okay. Now, Deputy Chief? Deputy Chief? Is that you? Okay, I have a caller on the line. Who is this? Who am I listening to?
Praise the Lord. Hello.
Okay, hold on just a moment. And what I was going to ask Deputy Chief, hold on just a moment. Is that you, Deputy Chief?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We want you to hold on just a moment. I want Mr. Denzel to have an opportunity to introduce himself. He's running for the city charter.
Great.
And I want to ask you to ask, Deputy Chief, I want you to ask him a question after he's introduced himself. So, Mr. Denzel, would you tell the folks who you are, what you're about, and why are you running for this city charter?
Yes, and thank you both for having me on. My name is Denzel McCampbell. I am running for the Detroit Charter Revision Commission on the People's Slate. I'm running because, our city charter is our city's constitution. It lays out how our city government is supposed to operate. It lays out how our city government is supposed to provide services for folks, and how are folks supposed to have a good quality of life in the city of Detroit. I'm running because whatever happens in this document will set forth the future of Detroit for the next at least 16 years, maybe even further than that. And we have to make sure that we are having community folks on the City Charter Commission. We have to make sure that we're centering the needs of the most vulnerable folks in the city of Detroit, because our city is only as strong as the folks who are in it. And if we're having folks who are struggling, then we have a problem. So the City Charter can be a framework to provide that good quality of life for every resident of the city of Detroit.
If they get the right people making
they
that
get the
decision
right
on the
people.
city charter, you have an interesting background. Hit up on some of your background things you've done.
For sure. I currently work for a group called Engage Michigan. We provide communication and media support to social justice groups. So as folks are working on preventing water shutoffs in the city, folks are working on preventing unconstitutional foreclosures, they're taking ownership from folks in their homes, I help those groups with getting the word out to the media and also in the way that folks can understand. I've been doing electoral organizing with various folks. Representative Stephanie Chang, I ran her campaign in 2014, her first campaign, and I ran now Lansing Mayor Andy Shore. I was his field director when he first ran for State House. I've done voting rights organizing across the state, and those are some skills that I would bring to the Charter Commission. One, to meet folks where they are, to know about the charter, to understand the charter, and to ask folks what they would like to see in their city government, and also someone who has looked at policy, a very dense document like the city charter, to break it down to folks to understand. Because I also lead public policy work for a group called Black Youth Project 100, and we're a group of young black activists fighting for change in our community.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, we can go on and on and on. The brother's bad, and the young lady is bad. But Deputy Chief,
Yes, sir.
and then I'm coming to my caller next. I'm sorry we cut you off. I didn't mean to. I was cutting Mary off.
No
But
problem.
You,
No problem.
You're still with us. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, as I said before, it's apparent to me, and I believe it's apparent to a lot of the listening and viewing audience, that this group represents our interests, and this is what we need. I would like to ask Mr. McCampbell, why do you think that there's a what's his name, Dan Gilbert's finance slate?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Deputy Chief, and thank you.
Save the mic.
We are, if you think back to 2016, when there was a ballot initiative in the city of Detroit for community benefits, this would say if you are getting assets, if you are doing a development deal and you're asking for assets from the city, whether that is money, land, or any type of thing that the city has, you need to provide benefits for residents. And in that community and as a city as a whole. Folks like Dan Gilbert and developers were fighting against that ordinance because they didn't want equitable development in the city, and they didn't want folks to benefit, folks across the city to benefit from that development. And I think we're seeing that again in the city charter. Folks who want to make the charter a very pro-development charter, but one that actually harms folks in the city with development. They'll say, hey, we want millions of dollars from your classrooms, from your city roads, from your public safety, and we're not going to give you anything back for that. And I think those are folks are trying to advance those things as well in the Charter Revision Commission also.
Okay, I'm going to come to you, young lady, but I want to let my caller get in. Young lady, you're live on the Talk B. Jones. I'm Billy Jones. Forgot to tell you, I'm Billy Jones. Don't forget, if you got a question, a situation, you can also call me at 313-412-3111. Don't forget, you can also get that Jasuru, that great, as Ms. J.D. Hill called it, the Jesus juice. You're live, young lady.
Praise the Lord. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for calling.
I want to thank you for having an outstanding selection of people on the Charter Commission.
Thank you.
They are all excellent and outstanding. And Candleman, as well as you, Billy Jones, I want to thank you both for being strong black men and sticking together as a group, like you gave praise and honor to Malik Shabazz. Never forget where you come from. That's what our parents always taught us. That way you would have an even, easy way going forward. I just thank you all for this show. You did a good job, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.
You know, your praises mean so much to me. I thank you so very much.
And I want to thank you, too, so much for the comment that you gave me and Billy.
Thank you. Young lady, we're going to bring you in, and you can make your comments. You got notes and et cetera.
I will just add to, I believe it was the deputy chief called in and asked my colleague Denzel about Dan Gilbert's involvement. To your caller and your audience, now you know why I became a lawyer. Now you know why I'm running on the People's Slate. Because with every aspiration that people have, for every injustice they see that they want righted, we know that our courts will not recognize it unless you can make the legal argument. And many of the things that Denzel brought up about private investment, water rights, they don't have legal rights attached, and public education does not as well. So I feel that I'm a good member of this team because when we take it back to the drafting part, which is what charter commissioners do, is we take the people's comments and we start to write it and draft it. I feel that I have a good understanding of where we are, not just with voting rights, but with many rights on a federal, state, and city level. And we can talk a common language of what people want, but I bring like a certain skill set. And I really want, for those of you that don't know me, you really need to know that
What's
I'm
your
just a foot soldier. Tracy Peters. My teammates.
Tracy Peters?
Yes.
Okay.
No relation to Gary Peters. I am running with such sophisticated political people on my slate, and I'm the one that pretty much they tell me what to do, and I stand there. I can plant my feet, and I can hold a position, and my position is the people's viewpoint. So I wanted to speak up about my belief in Dan Gilbert, that it needs to some creative legal right thinking. And then just also say that I can add my skills to the team.
So you can kind of go toe to toe.
I can in a legal sense, absolutely. In fact, if I may say one thing, I'm
Please
doing
do.
that right now in the Court of Appeals. We've had a 3-year case on behalf of municipal governments across the state of Michigan who have not gotten their fair share of revenue sharing since the Headley Amendment was enacted in 1978. And our arguments were found to be meritorious by the Conservative Court of Appeals. And we are making novel arguments of law to fight for local government's tax dollars. I mean, that's where I'm coming from.
Sounds great. Deputy Chief?
Yeah. Right, just what the lady said. I mean, here she is, the candidate, a citizen of Detroit, and her team are fighting for revenue sharing. Now, she's the first candidate for any office that I know of in this upcoming election that mentioned anything about revenue sharing. And so this is why I say we need radical change. We need new people coming to seek out elected position because we need to change the status quo. And I pray to God that this team stay together and again use TV 33 as a platform, a venue to get the message out. And those callers who enjoy the show, you need to finance this team, and you need to finance this program. If you like what you're hearing, if you like what you're seeing, support TV 33, support Billy Jones Show.
Well, the way you do that is you send your checks, you cash your checks, your money order into TV 33. Make the checks, cash your checks out to TV 33, 160 Victor Street, Highland Park, what's that, 48203? And on your memo column, make sure that you write Talk Beat Jones or Billy Jones, so that that money will be credited to this station, but it also will be credited to Billy Jones, so that as I pay for my programs, the company here will give me credit for your fundraising efforts. So thank you so very much and appreciate you. Kenny, you got something to say real quick?
No, I'm thinking about putting you and Denzel in a group. 'Cause that boy, y'all got the. We need that singing group. We can next year see us up here.
Well,
but I just want to say, a lot of people, Billy, I'm gonna say right quick.
I had those views, like those visions, like Mr. R.J. Watkins, until the voice changed.
I'm just a lot of people just always call me after the show and say, "Candleman, do you really make candles?" And I say, "Yes, I do. I brought one, so I will get okay from Billy if I can show one of y'all,
Hey,
but
bro.
I'll let him."
Bro, we get the timing together. You the co-host.
Yeah,
You do
yeah,
what
I
you
just
need to
wanna
do.
show you,
You get it ready. But young lady, oh no, Denzel.
Yeah.
We want to know, once again, the slate, and I want to ask the duel between the two of you. Why did whomever you say gave money to the other candidates, why did they choose those particular candidates, not necessarily calling names, but the idea that they chose those persons to say, we're going to put money behind them? I want your perspective, and then I want your perspective on that, and then I'll take you, Chief.
So I'll answer the question for the members of the People's Slate, and then I'll go into your question about the folks who gave money. So the folks who are on the People's Slate for the Detroit Charter Commission, and this will be on the back of your ballot, so you have to flip your ballot over. Nicole Small, Tracy Peters, who was here, Joanna Underwood, Taylor Harrell, who was here earlier, Barbara Winder, and myself, Denzel McCampbell. And this is the People's Slate for the Charter Commission.
Okay, now, because of the time constraint, I need you to go ahead and hit this point about why you feel that the other folks got money, and what was the purpose of that, real quickly, but shorthand style, please.
If you look at the folks who are on the People's Slate, as Tracy mentioned, she's in the courtroom fighting for for revenue sharing in the state and other things as well around public education. I definitely have not shied away from talking and speaking out about issues that are happening in the city, and folks who are on the slate as well. I think we are, I would say, good troublemakers, and when we are, and we
when
they
you
know
say
we're-
you're troublemakers, that means that you're asking questions that other folks do not want
Exactly.
to ask. But the question about that being a troublemaker, do you have an answer to the process of you asking a question that nobody wants to ask?
I mean, one thing is that when we're asking those questions, we know that we're coming back with community input about those issues that have happened in the city. So we're not asking those questions to be someone just popping off for nothing.
Not just being flippant.
Not
okay.
just, but we're asking because we heard from folks about these issues, and I think that's why other folks are funding other candidates, because they know we're going to ask those questions on behalf of people and show up for people as well.
Young lady.
And Denzel named the slate, so I'll just say my theory is the people who are not funding us, that are being funded by others, they don't know us. They don't run in the same circles. As Denzel said, we are down, usually not dressed up, meeting people where they are at. That is the majority of the city, folks. It's not people that dress up and sit on panels and go to work and cut a paycheck every week. We're in different circles. And in the charter, this is the last thing I'll say, there's 3 circles. There's the people, there's the mayor, and there's the city council. And the other candidates are in those other 2 circles.
Okay. Real quickly, we're running out of time, and I need you, Deputy, to put your spin on things real quickly.
Well, my spin is, as I said before, the whole team of People's Slate, they have spoken on the issues and the people's interest, community benefit agreement, revenue sharing. The revenue sharing that the state of the city of Detroit is over $1 billion. You have not heard one sitting elected official say anything about that $1 billion revenue sharing. And also, just like Tracy said, the Citizen District Council. So obviously, if you have an ounce of common sense, you will see that this team is representing the interests of the citizens of Detroit. And
Thank you.
again, we need to get behind.
Okay, thank you. And Candleman, why do they call you? Can you show us real quickly? We're down about
Sure.
the last minute.
Candleman, because a lot of people have questions, so I brought 2 of my candles with me so you guys can see why they call me the Candleman. I make candles that smell just like the real thing, blueberry.
Let me see this.
And
I'm gonna put it out a little further out there.
and I also
Wow.
make the.
Can I eat this?
Yeah, and I also make the fruit jars. Remember, Grandma used to put in the kitchen. They put and can fruit.
Oh man!
So, and the scent smells just like what they look like.
I want some of this. I want some of this because the smell. I wish y'all could smell this. I wish you could smell this. I smell victory. I smell somebody coming home with a team of winners.
That's right.
What's your plate? What's your slate?
The People's Slate.
What's the names?
The folks who are on the People's Slate: Nicole Small, Tracy Peters, Joanna Underwood, Taylor Harrell, Barbara Winder, and Denzel McCampbell.
And the young lady that can go toe to toe, what would you say right about now?
I would say vote for the People's Slate. Come out on November 6th.
All right. And did we get your information number?
No, my phone number very quickly is 313-355-4554, 313-355-4554.
Oh, Denzel. There was folks trying to get your number, bro, but you went too fast.
313-355-4554.
Young lady, one more time, your information.
Tracy Peters, 313-693-5155.
And Deputy Chief, I'll let you go give my number out, please.
Yes, 313-399-8290.
Thank you, and hopefully see you next week for the conversation about after the election. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Number?
Thank you.
I mean, how do you want them to contact you?
You can contact the Candleman at 313-778-0979. That's 313-778-0979.
All right, remember, you can watch us every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. and other times. But right now, this is Billy Jones. Call me at 313-412-3111. Whatever you do, whatever you think, go out to vote. Don't worry about holding your nose. Just vote, get out and vote. Take the kids, let them see what it takes to be a winner in the city of Detroit. Billy Jones, we'll see you soon. Love you. Thank you. Don't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. And this is the Talk Beat Jones.